Welcome to this deep exploration into the myth, symbolism, and psychological depth of one of antiquity's most powerful healing figures, Asclepius. Often known as the Greek god of medicine, Asclepius is far more than just a mythological physician. He is a profound archetype that represents not only physical healing, but psychological transformation, spiritual integration, and the mystery of inner renewal. In this video, we will examine Asclepius through the lens of depth psychology, particularly the thought of Carl Gustav Jung. Together, we will uncover how this ancient myth holds keys to our modern understanding of healing, suffering, and the journey toward wholeness. Asclepius, according to Greek myth, was the son of Apollo, the radiant, god of light, prophecy, and healing, and the mortal woman Coronis. Some stories say he was cut from his mother's womb after her death and entrusted to the wise centaur Chiron, who became his teacher and guide. Chiron, known for his wisdom and knowledge of medicine, taught Asclepius the healing arts, herbalism, surgery, dream interpretation, and perhaps even the mysteries of life and death. The pupil quickly surpassed the master. Asclepius became so skilled that he could cure any disease, and in some accounts, he even resurrected the dead. This divine defiance of natural order provoked the wrath of Zeus, who struck him down with a thunderbolt. And yet, Asclepius was not lost to time. He became a god, worshipped across the ancient world in sanctuaries called Asclepia, where people came not just to be cured of illness, but to seek deep, holistic healing. Let us begin to look at this myth through a Jungian lens. For Jung, myth is not mere fiction or ancient superstition. It is a language of the psyche. Myths express eternal truths about human nature through image and symbol. Asclepius, then, is not just a deity of antiquity. He is the archetype of the healer that lives within each of us. Jung wrote, "The doctor is effective only when he himself is affected." In other words, the capacity to heal comes not from detachment, but from inner transformation. Asclepius is the healer who has undergone the journey of death and rebirth. He is initiated not just through knowledge, but through suffering. And this, Jung tells us, is the key to all genuine healing. The serpent is the central symbol of Asclepius. It is wrapped around his staff, the rod of healing. The serpent is one of the most ancient and powerful symbols in human history. It sheds its skin, symbolizing death and renewal. It lives close to the earth, symbolizing instinct and primal wisdom. It moves in spirals and coils, like the unconscious, like the flow of psychic energy. Jung saw the serpent as a symbol of transformation and individuation. He noted its appearance in dreams as a messenger of the unconscious. In alchemical symbolism, the serpent appears as the Ouroboros, biting its own tail, signifying the eternal cycle of destruction and creation, the unity of opposites. In the image of Asclepius, we see the joining of conscious knowledge, Apollo's light, with instinctual wisdom, Chiron's earth. This union is the core of what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole, in the sanctuaries of Asclepius. People came not for quick cures, but for profound inner experiences. They practiced incubation, sleeping in the temple in hopes of receiving a healing dream from the god. These dreams were interpreted by temple priests, who acted as early psychoanalysts. Jung would have seen these temples as early laboratories of the psyche. He once said, "The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul." In this light, the Asclepian tradition anticipates depth psychology. Healing is not imposed from without, it arises from within. From the depths of the unconscious, through image, symbol, and encounter. Jung also reminds us that the healer must undergo their own confrontation with darkness. In his exploration of the wounded healer archetype, he writes, "Only the wounded physician heals." This is the secret of Chiron, who bore a wound that could never fully heal, and of Asclepius, whose death and deification mark his passage through suffering. It is also the secret of every psychotherapist, counselor, or spiritual guide. One must walk through their own shadow, confront their own unconscious, and emerge transformed. Only then can they hold space for the healing of others. Asclepius, as an archetype, holds this tension. He is both divine and mortal, scientist and mystic, lightbringer and underworld traveler. He knows that true healing is not the absence of pain, but the integration of pain into a greater whole. This is also why Jung was critical of modern medicine that focused solely on symptoms without attending to the soul. He believed that neurosis, depression, and anxiety were often calls from the unconscious, signals that something deeper was needed. He wrote, "We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses." Asclepius does not condemn illness. He listens to it. He invites it into the temple. He honors it as a teacher. This approach reflects Jung's view that symptoms are not enemies to be destroyed, but messages to be decoded. They are part of the individual's mythic journey that we must also mention Asclepius's daughters, Hygeia and Panacea. Hygeia, the goddess of cleanliness and preventive health, gives us the word hygiene. Panacea, whose name means all healing, represents the hope for a universal remedy. These two daughters symbolize two aspects of healing: the maintenance of balance and the restoration of wholeness. But Asclepius himself transcends both. He is not merely a protector of wellness or a dispenser of medicine. He is a symbol of the mystery of healing itself, an energy that moves through psyche and soma, through ritual and science, through dream and awareness. As we face the ailments of modern life, stress, disconnection, psychological fragmentation, we would do well to return to the Asclepian model, not to recreate temples, but to remember what they stood for. A place where body, mind, and spirit were seen as one. A place where dreams mattered, where silence was honored, where the soul had space to speak. In our time, the healer's path requires not only clinical skill, but inner work. It requires descent, initiation, and humility. Jung believed that every person has a task to become who they truly are. And for many, that task includes becoming a healer in their own right, not by title, but by presence. In conclusion, the myth of Asclepius is not a relic of the past. It is a living symbol, an archetype, a call to wholeness. Whether we are therapists, doctors, seekers, or simply human beings carrying wounds, we are all called to the temple, called to dream, called to descend, and called to emerge, not perfect, but whole. As Jung wrote, wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Asclepius teaches us that healing is sacred, that suffering has meaning, and that deep within the human psyche lives the physician we are all searching for. Thank you for joining me in this journey through mythology, psychology, and soul. If you found resonance in this exploration, consider subscribing, sharing, or continuing your own inner pilgrimage. Until next time, may the rod of Asclepius guide you, not just toward health, but toward wholeness.